One thing I know, two things for certain, my sisters are never picking a Discomfort movie for me to watch again. What's good, guys? It's Alissa. If you're new here, hello. I am starting a series on my channel called Discomfort Movies. Everybody has comfort movies, and everybody has those movies that they turn on that just brings them so much joy and comfort, and sometimes you might go to sleep on it. One of those movies for me, I would say, is Coraline. I know, right? But there's just such good calming vibes in Coraline if you're just listening to it and not watching, right? But then, right, there's some movies that are literally meant to make you squirm in your seat. And so today... And so the movie we're going to be talking about today, the Discomfort movie that we're going to be talking about today, is The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. This is a movie that came out a long time ago. It's actually a short film, and I never watched it. I would hear things about it, but I never really consumed too much. So I was like, whatever. I decided to watch it. Yeah, we're going to get into it. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to rate it from 1 through 10 from my level of discomfort. Prefacing, this is a short film by the director and writer Ari Aster, and he is also the director and writer for Midsommar. Do with that information what you will. I have seen Midsommar. I should have known what I was getting into when I watched this short film. Let's get right into it. I do want to say trigger warning for the subject matter of this movie. There is things that deal with family stuff, family doing things with each other, and essay and things like that. So if you are sensitive to those topics, viewer discretion is advised. Let's get into the movie. So as soon as the movie starts, it starts with the son of the movie, Isaiah, beating his meat. Yes, it does. And I was just like, wait, what exactly am I watching right now? Okay, strange. Red flag number 1. So Isaiah's dad comes in and is like, hey son, I'm sorry that I walked in on you doing this. There's nothing taboo about you doing this. This is a natural thing that people do. And Isaiah's like, do you do this? And he's like, yeah, like, hey man, nothing wrong with it. Everybody does it. And Isaiah's like, okay, dad, you made me feel better. Great conversation. I feel like the dad handled that well, because it shouldn't be taboo. Especially kids are growing, kids learn, and kids start doing things that you have no control over. But yeah. The dad leaves the room, and it is revealed that the picture that Isaiah is using to touch himself is a picture of his dad. When I tell you my jaw was on the ground, and also I was eating while I was watching. I made my breakfast. This is also the first thing that I watch first thing in the morning. I was eating my breakfast. I had to pause it and finish my breakfast because I was like, oh, hold on, wait a damn minute. What am I getting into right now? I wouldn't even watch Midsommar while eating. So yeah, had to pause it. I was eating, and I was eating like a sausage. So it was just something about the English muffin that I was eating and the textures of the sausage and thinking about what I just witnessed. I was just like, like shivers up my spine. Okay. Anyway, they send us through the years, and it's kind of like montagey, and the dad is very uncomfortable. We see it in the family pictures. The dad is just very uncomfortable. They're like, hey man, smile. He's like, oh, I wasn't smiling. And they're like, no, you were not smiling. It's like, okay, weird. 14 years later, Isaiah gets married. So we're at the wedding reception. They're taking pictures. It's a family picture with Isaiah's mom, Isaiah's dad, Isaiah's wife, and Isaiah. Isaiah standing next to his dad. In this picture, the dad looks very uncomfortable as they're taking it. Isaiah is smiling. The mom is smiling. His wife is smiling. I think Isaiah says something to him like, thank you for being a good sport. And Isaiah reaches down his dad's back and grabs his butt. So it's pretty much revealed that there is a taboo relationship going on here with the dad and Isaiah. My stomach, I'm already feeling sick. I already have a fever and I'm like, okay, let's power through this. Okay. This is kind of therapeutic. I can't believe what I watched, and I just had to tell somebody. We're at the wedding reception, and it was just this very eerie vibe. I'm like, something weird is happening. Like, I don't know, something weird's about to happen. And the mom was just walking around. She was like, where's Isaiah? Where's Isaiah? And I'm like, oh, he's probably with his wife. Like, that's where he's going to be. But when she went up to his wife, and she was like, oh, I don't know where he is. I was like, oh, okay, prep Prep yourself for what's about to happen next, okay? I was like, okay. So the mom's still walking around. I have this pit in my damn stomach. I'm like, something weird's about to happen. So the mom is still looking, and she hears strange noises coming from behind a fence. And she looks through a hole. And she finds the dad being very uncomfortable in this situation, and her son Isaiah is doing inappropriate things to her husband. I know that, in this dynamic, it may be like, he's the dad. Why isn't he doing anything about this? And this also could be the taboo-ness of this whole movie. Like, what if the children are being abusive to the parents? And it makes me think about teachers. Strange correlation, but it does make me think about teachers and how I remember when I was in elementary school. I was not in elementary school. I was in middle school, and we had a science class that was completely out of control, to where the teacher just like would break down every day. And one day she just walked out of the class and never came back. Kids can be very abusive to adults. Not everybody is equipped for certain things, but I definitely think that anybody can be a victim and anybody can be an abuser. Honestly, truly, don't put anything past anybody. I think that also, in some situations, the problem starts before you even know it, because the dad did have a conversation with his son in the beginning and was like, there's nothing wrong with you doing this, act of, touching yourself. And there's nothing wrong with it. People do it. He had that conversation with him. He did not know that his son was doing that to a picture of him. I'm going to throw up, but he did not know that. So, as a kid who has a growing mental, his dad telling him like, it's okay, maybe did something in his mind to be like, this is okay. Like, these are the people that's telling you right from wrong. So in his mind, maybe that tricked him to be like, this is right. But also you just know certain things are wrong because he's also hiding this. He's not doing this out in the open. So that's my perspective on that. Back to it. Unfortunately, the mom sees this. The mom is completely spooked. I'm literally shocked that she did not throw up, because that would have been vomit city. That was completely horrible. And as a mom, imagine seeing something like that. Don't imagine that. Do not imagine that. Take that back. Think about rainbows. Think about unicorns. Thank you. Yeah, so she just kind of ate it, walked off, and entertained the reception after that. We get another time skip, and the mom is definitely spooked at what she saw. And I'm assuming that she didn't reveal that she knows what happened. So they're back at home. This is the mom and the dad's house. And it's revealed that the dad is actually an author and he writes books. And this is kind of a peek into, honestly, his mental, because one of his book names was How I Learned to Breathe. And I feel like he writes these books to kind of like in a therapeutic way, to like express his feelings without exactly saying specifically what's happening in his life. So he's in his study and we see that he's typing something up. In it says that they're both in the wrong. It's like, I guess it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like they both are, because I very much believe in there being a victim in a situation. And I do believe that the dad is a victim in this situation. And I think that it's just the dynamic of it being parent and child, that it's like, well, not child, he's a grown ass man now, but it being parent and son, that it's like skewing the perspective of like, he should be doing something about this. But some people are literally just abusive and some people are not. Some people have more of a victim mentality. Not in a negative way, that's not derogatory, but some people do have more of a victim mentality where they're not the type of person to speak up about their feelings. They're not the type of person to react in a crazy way when they're being disrespected, they're being abused and stuff like that. That's just, that just is what it is. So this is actually where it's kind of revealed that the dad is very fearful of his son, because he's typing, he's writing, and he hears footsteps. This could be anybody, right? Maybe, a lot of us have been in certain situations. You learn the footsteps of the people that are in your house and you hear certain things. It may be triggering because it's like, oh, that's who I think it is. So he kind of freezes up, and it is who he thinks it is. So he tries to hurry and close his laptop. And literally what he's writing is literally detailing the events that happens between him and his son. And it's literally Isaiah that's coming to the door. Oh my God. So he's literally just afraid that Isaiah will see what he wrote. The computer eventually does end up turning off. He's able to hide it really fast. And I believe Isaiah calls him down to dinner. So now we're at the dinner table. And this is where we see the dynamic between Isaiah, his dad, and his mom. They're eating dinner, and I don't know what it is because they're eating mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, it's very effective at making a situation very gross. I love mashed potatoes. I will eat mashed potatoes whenever it's in front of me, but I'm thinking about like Scary Movie 2, this movie. I don't know. It's just something very effective about mashed potatoes that makes it like really nasty when they scoop it and plop it on the plate. It's just like cafeteria food. I don't know. It just makes it really disgusting, and it really is an effective way to make you feel icky. So they were eating mashed potatoes and I was like, oh my God, something is making my stomach feel sick. I don't know what it was. If it was like bread or something like that, but Isaiah got it specifically for his dad. So his dad is just like, I don't want to eat this bread right now. And Isaiah is like, you're going to eat this bread. Like, I got it for you, Dad. You're going to eat this bread. And he's like, I don't want, like, I'll have one later. Like, I don't want to eat this bread right now. So Isaiah is pretty much offended because his dad is not taking what he gave to him. Red flag. So then the mom asks for one. He's like, you're gonna have to ask Dad because I got it for him. And so she's like, sweetie, can I have one? And he's like, of course, honey. Isaiah does not like this. And I'm just like, ooh, this guy has issues. Like, this guy literally has issues. So she's like, thank you, sweet. And they're rubbing hands. They're being intimate because they're married. They're a married couple. Isaiah's literally dead staring them like, they're just, having a moment. We pan the camera down under the table. In this intimate moment that the dad and the mom are having, Isaiah is literally rubbing his foot against the dad. So one hand on the right is rubbing the mom, the dad, and then his left leg is getting rubbed by Isaiah. Not to mention, his wife is also at the table. Like, Isaiah's wife is also at this table. So it's like, you don't even care. Like, you literally do not care. And that's scary. So after dinner, we see what the dad has been writing all this time. And it's actually a whole entire book called Cocoon Man. And I think that that says a lot about his feelings of his situation, that he feels like a man in a shell. And that sucks. That's not that I don't like to hear that. That literally sucks because, at one point your life was great, then it's not, and you feel like a shell of a man. And glad that he actually was able to, write this book and get his feelings out. So he writes this book and he sneaks out of his study, places it on the bed while his wife is in the shower in their room. And I was like, oh my God, he just has this out in the open. I feel uncomfortable about that. But then he comes back and puts it under the pillow. I'm like, cool. Leaves the room. Dun, dun, dun. Isaiah comes out of the bathroom in the hallway and he's like, oh, hey, Dad. Dad, that toilet's not working. Something was working. The toilet's not working. So I'm gonna use the bathroom in your room. The dad's like, wait, your mom's in the shower. Like, don't go in there. He's like, no, I can wait. So Isaiah goes in the room. The dad is spooked. So he goes into his study. So it's ominous. It's scary. His dad is just sitting in his study, just waiting on something, right? He's literally facing the door, I believe. Here comes the footsteps again. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. Because he literally just left a tell-all book on the bed. And I'm just like, I'm fingers crossed Isaiah did not find this. But of course, the door creeps open and it's Isaiah holding the tell-all book. Oh my God. So Isaiah comes in the room with the book and he's like, don't look scared. It's like, dude, I'm horrified right now. Do you know what's in that book? I'm horrified. How am I not supposed to look scared? Like, what are you talking about? Then he's being snarky and he's like, for a poet, I expected more eloquence, and slams the book on the table. And I'm like, oh God, this guy sucks. Like, this guy really sucks. And unfortunately, the dad immediately apologizes for even like writing it. And Isaiah is not accepting his apology. And he just looks really hurt. Okay. Then Isaiah tells him, he's like, I love you, Dad, but you're making it so hard. It's like, what? Oh my, like, Isaiah sucks. And it's just like, the more and more this movie is going on, mind you, this movie is like 30 minutes. It's a short film. I'm just like, you see so much in this movie and you're able to see Isaiah's personality in such a short amount of time. And it's just like, oh my God, what would I do if I raised such a freaking loser? Like, oh. So he takes the Cocoon Man book, which is the tell-all, and threatens to burn it. And he's like, if I see any more copies of this book, you don't even want to know what's going to happen next. And I'm just like, boy, what? Like, okay. He even said it's going to be more than a slap on the wrist. It's like, so now you're giving out the punishments? It's crazy. So the dad goes to his computer and permanently deletes the file, unfortunately. There's another time skip, and I actually have no idea how much time has passed at this point, but they're partying it up. They're at a party. I believe this is New Year's. Yeah, it's New Year's. So they're at a New Year's party. I have no idea how much time has skipped because at the wedding, it was still like sunny outside. It wasn't winter. Not sure what city they live in because a lot of cities, you know, don't have cold winters, but it's New Year's, it's winter, and Isaiah is sharing a New Year's kiss with his wife, and he's staring at his dad the whole time. And his dad is just looking just so defeated and hurt, and it just really sucks to see that. And for some reason, this like pisses Isaiah off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is probably not meant to be funny, but this part actually made me laugh because Isaiah is just so pathetic to me. Isaiah's wife is literally saying her goodbyes to everybody. She's like, oh, you know, see you guys, da, da, da. And Isaiah is just looming in the corner. It's like, dude, what are you mad about? And she's just like, you know, bye everybody. They walk out. This guy punches the wall. And she's like, what? Because she can't see him. She's like, what the heck was that? So she literally just peeks her head through the doorway. And what does he say? He said, he literally punches the wall, shatters the glass. And so his wife is just staring at him. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here and help them clean up. And she's like, what? Because literally, what? Like, that's, you know, that's not why I'm coming over here staring at you. Like, you just shattered glass. Like, I'm not asking you if you're staying here. It's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you why the hell you just punched this picture. And he's just like, you know, we left a mess and I would hate to leave him with such a mess. So he ends up staying at his parents' house for the night. This is the part that I was just like, oh my gosh, like Isaiah needs to be, no, like this guy is just a menace to society. He doesn't need to be out on the streets. It was just like, yeah, no. He was a chop before, but he's even more of a chop. So the dad's in the tub and he's listening to an audiobook, like a self-help thing. And of course he's listening to self-help. That's the kind of books that he listens to. And I'm sure this is like a therapeutic outlet for him. And the name of the self-help book was actually For Pete's Sake, You're Worth It. Words of Encouragement from Dr. Storm Rickles. And this is the part where we literally see like he didn't actually stay behind to help clean. He stayed behind to torment his father. His dad's in the tub. He has headphones and of course he can't hear. Isaiah immediately goes and finds the dad and he's wiggling the doorknob. Of course his dad cannot hear. He's wiggling the doorknob. He's jiggling the door handle and he's like, you know how much I hate locked doors. And it was like, what? So he's literally just trying to open the door and his dad can't hear. But when he kicks the door, his dad is like, what the heck was that? So he takes off his headphones. This part was like really like my heart was racing. Takes off his headphones, kicks it again. I'm like, oh my God. Kicks it. The door swings open. The door is completely broken and we don't see what happens. Thank God. Thank God. Didn't want to see that. Sometimes you don't need to see what's happening for the message to be conveyed. And I feel like sometimes a lot of people think that's the case. And it's like, no, actually the mystery is what makes it uneasy. Because it's just like, yeah, horrible things are happening in that bathroom. All you hear is the dad really screaming. And I'm like, where is the mom? Because that's kind of crazy that he is like blatantly doing this now. Like he's not hiding it. And I'm not sure if the mom knows, like he's literally blatantly doing this out in the open. I'm sure the mom is home. So I was just like, wow, he's getting really bold. Oh, there's the mom. Situation's over. We cut back to Isaiah and the dad in the bathroom. Isaiah comes out of the bathtub literally fully clothed and soaked. And I'm just like, oh, is you cool? Like, what are you doing? What is happening right now? Like, all he did was like pull his pants out, but he literally had his whole NYE outfit on. And I was just like, this guy is absolutely bonkers insane. Like, who does something like this? Just like no thought behind anything. So maybe we missed some things. I don't know, because literally the mom was in the room pretending like she didn't know what was happening and just like turned the TV volume up while this was happening. That's unfortunate. So she didn't really do anything about it. And so time passes by again and it's the night of this happening and the dad is literally just staring. They're in bed and he's staring at the back of the wife's head while she's sleeping. They're like, he's facing her, she's facing the opposite direction. So like her back is to him. So he's literally like staring at her in like sadness because it's like, I know you can hear that. Like, I know that you heard that. So she's not even looking at him and she's like literally dead staring at the wall. And it was just unfortunate. That was just really sad. So I don't know if it was the next morning, but time had passed or whatever. The dad tries again. He's at the stairs. He's trying to sneak out with his tell-all book, which shows us that there actually were multiple copies. I actually love that for him because it's like, if he didn't have that book, then what? So he tries to sneak out, this time out the front door, but of course, unfortunately, Isaiah catches him in broad daylight, by the way. This is like morning time. It's not nighttime. It's daytime. Isaiah says, are you trying to make me upset? just everything he does just gets on my nerves. Like, I hated Isaiah in this whole movie. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it, actually. One, in this scene, I'm just like, Isaiah, what are you doing? Like, you couldn't even see him, but as I was looking, I found him because he also stands up later. Like, he was really hiding in the shadows like he was Batman or something. I'm like, you're really trying to be like this ominous, looming, dark figure. And it's like, you do that anyway without even having to do all this. Like, you have so much audacity. You're so audacious that it's crazy, okay? So the whole time, he's really just gaslighting him, and he said, I went too far last night and I apologize. Am I alone here? Am I just this abusive monster? Yes. There's nothing else I have to say to that. Yes. So they're arguing back and forth. They're just going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Honestly, it wasn't really a back and forth. Isaiah was doing most of the talking, but he said something like, it takes two to tango. Why did I literally just feel like, as I was saying that, oh my God. And he says that he's accepted what they have, implying that the dad is just as guilty. Saying that he never gave them a chance, and that how could he sleep next to that disgusting cold bitch? His mom, like, he literally hates his mom, and it's so unfortunate to see. It's so sad because I literally actually just made a video on like abusers and how the worst thing for them is being disliked. Like, they will literally put on a good face in front of everybody, and if anybody clears a smoke screen, it is the worst thing for them. Like, they literally hate being disliked, but it's like, you're so unlikable. It's crazy. Like, they will literally know what's wrong and not do the right things. They know what they're doing is wrong, but then they will put on an act in front of everybody, making it seem like they're doing the right stuff. But it's like, you're actually doing all the wrong shit, and you just like, you're putting on an act in front of everybody. But it's like, some people will clock that and they hate that. So back to the argument, he's like, you can sleep next to that disgusting B word in that loveless bed. And it's like, sure, maybe their marriage is loveless now because they have a lot going on. I need to stop touching my hair. They have a lot going on. Also, when you have a huge hand on why the dad has not been the same. So when Isaiah gets done with his speech, the dad is just like, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. But he's just like, okay, enough of that. And he makes a run for it out the front door. Unfortunately, when he books it out the front door, thankfully, Isaiah does not catch him. I literally thought he was, because for some reason, Isaiah is just this superhero, supervillain, whatever, that is just has these superpowers and constantly catches the dad. He doesn't catch him. The dad runs right into the street. A car is coming. A truck is coming full speed. And unfortunately, the dad is hit by a truck, with the Cocoon Man book in his hands. Isaiah obviously is hurt by this. He goes out running. He grabs his dad and is just like, oh my God, no. The mom sees this. She comes out. She's hurt. Isaiah immediately yells at her. It's like, move. He's like, call 911, call an ambulance. Of course, yes, she should have called an ambulance, but that is her husband. Like, of course she did not want to see that. Unfortunately, the dad does pass away. And time skip, we're at his funeral. And the craziest thing, this is where I realized that the dad's name was Sidney Johnson. They literally showed his books at the beginning of the movie, and I don't know why I didn't clock that then, but when they showed, like, you know, his name and stuff at the funeral, I was like, the dad's name was Sidney all this time? I didn't realize. They're at the funeral. The mom is mute. People are coming up to her and they're like, you know, my condolences, my condolences. She just doesn't have nothing to say. Isaiah is kind of eating it up. He's sad, but the mom is just she's mute and she's froze. They make it back home. They're at the parents' house. And this guy, Isaiah, oh my gosh, in front of a mirror, puts on the dad's outfit that he had on in the family picture from when Isaiah was a kid, and is just standing in the mirror. This guy's like, has this weird obsession with his dad. It's so weird. And what does the mom do? She walks in. He's like, how long have you been standing there? And it's like, dude, you're doing this with the door wide open in her house. Like, why is that the first thing that you say is, how long have you been standing there? Like, dude, he's so weird and irrational. Like, this guy is so irrational. So the mom gets straight to it. She's like, she has something on her chest, and it's probably what she had on her mind at the funeral, honestly, is like, you know, I never got to really ask Sidney, the dad, any of this stuff, and now he's gone. So I'm just going to ask Isaiah. So she's like, why was your dad crying when he came home from prom night? And Isaiah's like, what? And she keeps pressing. She's like, why was your dad crying when he came home from prom night? This guy's literally continuously acting oblivious. He's like, how would I remember something that happened, what did he say, 12 years ago, 11 years ago, 10 years ago, something. It's like, if I can remember, boy, you can definitely remember. She was just basically saying, like, he came home, didn't speak to me at all, went in the bathroom and just cried and cried and cried. Like, he didn't speak to me at all and was just crying that whole night. She's just like, was that when it started? And he's like, what you're accusing me of right now? If you could hear yourself, you would feel so stupid by saying that. And it's like, dude, oh my God. Oh my God. It was just like, I just want to like, oh my God, this guy, like, he was just getting on my nerves. Like, are you crazy? Yes, the answer is yes. Isaiah says to his mom, he's like, you're emotional right now and we're not in our right minds. And it's like, no, I'm very much in my right mind and I'm asking you and you need to answer me correctly. So he specifically says, I think it's ugly what you're implying. And I think that you would agree if you could hear yourself. And it's like, actually, I'm not implying anything. I haven't actually said anything. So it's like, what are you implying? You're actually snitching on yourself right now because I haven't specifically said anything. But then it's also thinking back right now, it's like, she literally heard that. You literally did that in her house, the bathtub scene. Like, she knows. Like, of course, nobody said anything when that happened. So that did let him off kind of scot-free to be like, well, you didn't say anything. So, you know, but he's also just an abuser and manipulative. So he's definitely gaslighting her in this situation to make her feel like she's going crazy. But it's like, I've seen it with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears on multiple occasions. So she just laughs and she calls him a monster, which he is, and starts blaming him for the dad's death. So of course, Isaiah does not like to hear that, but the mom starts to slap him. Of course, he does not like this woman, so he hits her back. And that really set him off. They legitimately like start tussling. Like, they were literally fighting tooth and nail. There had to be a clear winner coming out of this. He punches her in the face, pushes her really hard. She starts clawing at his eyes, like clawing into his eyes so he can't see anything. This guy gets a hold of her, brings her to the fire, and is like about to put her in that fire. And I was just like, oh my God, knowing this writer and this director, I'm about to see something crazy. Like, I was so scared. I was like, I'm about to see something crazy right now. Thank God I ate my breakfast, but nothing happened. She grabs the little fireplace tools. I don't know what those things are called. The pokey thing, you know, when you move the coals in the wood with. She grabs that. I think she like hits him with it. So he gets off of her and she just keeps going, hitting him with that. Yeah, so she was the clear winner in the end of that whole tussle. So the movie pretty much ends with the mom sobbing, crying. Of course, this is a short film, but we saw a lot. We got to the nitty-gritty in this movie. She's crying. She grabs the Cocoon Man book. She throws that shit into the fire. So from 1 through 10, my discomfort levels for the movie The Strange Things About the Johnsons, honestly, that shit is getting a 10. I'm gonna go wash my eyes out with bleach now. Anyway, you probably didn't enjoy this video. Oh my God. I always say, I hope you all enjoyed this video. No. If you would like to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All that stuff is always in my description box down below. And if you made it to the end of this video, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit the notification bell to stay up to date with posts and uploads from me. But for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and I will see you guys in my next video. Please give me more recommendations on discomfort movies as well. But that's all I have for now. Peace.